a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
Lelia, your lipstick looks great.
Thank you. It's this abandoned Mary Kay that I found from back in the dark times when I used to hawk her product. Every once in a while I'll still find some shadows, and usually it does me some good, so I lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of money because it is a pyramid scam. So but good lipstick.
My house is doing that thing where I'm like, please cool to 73. And it's like, hey, bitch, I'm already struggling to cool to 74. So why don't you just...
Shut the fuck up.
Why don't you just take some clothes off or something?
So we're in the process of house hunting to get a bigger house. And one of the first things I said to our realtor, I was like, has to have 2 separate units for each level. I can't do 1 unit anymore.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good call.
Yeah, totally.
That makes a big difference. I hear. I only have...
It also doesn't help that my office is above the garage, so it's extra warm in here.
And then in the winter, it's fucking freezing.
So I'm fine with that. I can't do heat.
Leela, I was showing you this, right?
Yeah, and it was a little too tight for your arms.
Yeah, and I took it apart and I added some bingo wing room. This is what we call a bingo wing. I added room for the wing. So
I like the little cuffed sleeve that's on the
Yeah.
top. That's
Yeah,
really
it looks
cute.
so cute.
It looks like a sleeve.
Yeah, you did it, Tina.
Thank you. I really did. Okay.
You have 1/3 of a sweater. Kinda.
No, I have a whole sweater. It's just in shambles. Here's the other part. This is what I'm working on today.
I kind of like the concept that you just have add-on sleeves as needed.
That's what sleeves used to be. Shirt sleeves. That's why they're called... Wait.
What are you talking about, bitch?
What?
No, sleeves used to be separate, and I was about to say that's why they're called sleeves. That's crazy. That's why they're called pants. That's why they're called pants, even though there's only one pant.
Oh. Well, sleeves are also
pants,
plural, so...
But
similar.
sleeves, you do have 2 sleeves, but only 1 pant. That's where... But sleeves haven't you ever read a book like Pride and Prejudice? It's like, oh my god, my sleeves.
Yes, but like, and then some people, like, in certain areas of the U.S. will say it's like a pair of no, I was 3. So if it's 2 pairs of pants, they'll say it's 3 pair of pants. It's not.
What?
It's different than
Which
what
is
I thought
not
was gonna
grammatically
come out.
correct at all.
That's not mathematically correct either.
I hear him say it up in the New York City.
That sounds like New York.
Yeah. Lawless land.
All right. Welcome to the restricted section where the books are worth nothing to us and the listeners are worth everything. If you haven't done the reading, don't worry. We've done it for you. Here's what we're talking about this week. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Chapter 13, The Muggle-Born Registration Commission, in which the trio's break-in to the Ministry goes really, really well. I'm your host, Christina. My co-host today is Leela. Say hello to the listeners, Leela.
Hello, listeners. I have broken in, disguised myself, and no, I'm just wearing the same fucking bold lipstick I always wear. Here I am.
Who is that plum-lipped, small, curvaceous, curly girl?
Certainly
Did
not
somebody
a Leela.
say curly girl?
Oh my god.
I'm here and now you can't get rid of me.
Haley showed up even though this wasn't her week to record.
A wild Haley appeared. Literally.
This is what happens when I try to be responsible, everyone.
I would rather have a Haley when I don't need her than no Haley when I... Wait,
I'm like a gun or a condom.
Then no Haley when you do need her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
I just would rather have a Haley.
Yeah.
You started it correctly and then stopped.
I got confused halfway through. And here with us to celebrate Pride Month is local thespian Matt. Say hello to the listeners, Matt.
Hello, I'm here to help with the improv and bullshitting portion of the break-in.
We are such big supporters of the thespian community.
Guys, my recording's only been running for 8 minutes, and it's been 8 pure minutes of abject chaos. Yeah, I forgot to say last week because this isn't a very good queer series, but happy Pride Month, everybody.
Woohoo!
Feliz de orgulloso.
Yeah. What?
Something about orgasms. I heard it.
Orgulloso means pride.
Oh. Well, something about orgasm. Some of us, yes. Some of us, that is how we celebrate Pride Month.
That's how I celebrate every month, am I right?
Damn.
Happy Pride Month. I don't like to talk about gay stuff that much on this show anymore, as I've mentioned before, because the author didn't do any of that work. And we hate her and she's a TERF. But that is not what Pride Month is about. Pride Month is about community and about being vaguely bisexual, which everyone on this call is at least vaguely bisexual.
Yeah.
Good for us. Good for us. Go team.
Ow!
That's the waviness of a bisexual.
She's doing interpretive dance and then explaining it out loud.
Yeah.
We love a good visual gag for an audio medium.
It's every single time, Matt, that I record, I forget. Because I do focus so much on physical comedy. It is tough out here for a podcaster.
But you're so verbally funny. There's just no need.
You're right.
Yeah, so it's Pride. But that means nothing to this podcast. Well, except for that almost all of our listeners
What are you
are
talking
gay.
about? Yeah.
It means everything to the podcast. Just
Almost
nothing
all
to
of our-
the topic.
Yes, exactly. Almost all of our hosts and almost all of our listeners are queer. So for this, we celebrate you. We're not celebrating Harry Potter during Pride Month. We're celebrating you, dear listener. There's a 60% chance you're gay listening to this right now. And if you are, congratulations.
Only 60?
That's pretty low.
If not, let's just think about it for a second.
Just think about it.
Just take a moment and think about it.
Just
Think about, well, okay, so we're doing a lot of fun gay stuff over on Burn Before Reading, and last week we had Mary Payton from Wilding Press on Burn Before Reading, and she is straight. And Leela said, aren't you even just a little bit wavy? And Mary Payton said, what's wavy? And I said, would you fuck Rachel Weisz? And she said, of course. So it's like, yeah, if you'd fuck Rachel Weisz and you identify as a woman, you're wavy.
I was lucky that worked out so good for me.
What?
Because
It's
she should have
Rachel
been like,
Weisz!
I know, but like some people are so straight. Some people are so straight.
But someone who's surrounded with as many queers as Mary Payton is,
It rubs off, you know?
it rubs off at least the energy.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of people who are like Mary Clay too, is like, I'm straight, I'm sorry, I'm straight, I'm so sorry.
It's like, it's okay.
It's like, hey, yeah, you're we still like you anyway.
But you can keep apologizing. It's
Especially this month.
yeah, really. How dare you?
Oh fuck.
How dare you be straight during Pride Month?
I know. Disappear, come back in July, try again.
Disappear, be a queer.
Those are your two options.
Yep.
No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
that's so mean.
We love our straight listeners
We need
also.
allies.
I'm sure there's at least one or two of you out there.
Wait. Disappear and be queer is what you do after you're gay and do crimes.
Oh, so true.
Oh,
Or just,
very good, Haley.
you know, if you're just like got a touch of the tism and you're like, no more people for me. Here I shirk.
But if you're gonna vanish into the woods anyway, then why not do crimes? You know, before you go, so that you have money in hiding.
You're so right, Haley. I always forget that there's a lawless option.
Hey, that's what I'm here for, and that is literally why I'm here.
Oh my god, you're so right.
One time when I worked at Claire's in my early 20s, I ran a Claire's. I was the manager. And I had this like pack of 16-year-old idiot bimbos who I loved so much. And we had so much fun, and it was the best job. And I remember it was Halloween, and me and this girl, Katie, showed up in costume, and then Natalie also showed up, and she was like, I couldn't figure out what to wear today. It was like so hard, and like all this traffic, blah, blah, blah. And she was wearing this like dog costume, and me and Katie were both just like, And then she got to the end of her sentence, and Katie was like, hey, Natalie, you're not on the schedule. And I was like, yeah, Natalie, you're not working today. She was like, what? But she was like, I got dressed. I'm staying. So I was like, okay. I looked at the books and I was like, okay, you can work 2 hours and then you have to go. We can't afford you. Oh, Natalie. I remember another time she came into work and was just holding her boob. She was very Karen from Mean Girls. She was just holding her boob. And I was like, what's going on? What are you, why are you holding your boob? And she was like, I was shaving my armpits and I cut my nipple. Oh, I was like, whoa.
What the fuck? See, my
Armpits and nipples are so close to each other.
I was going to say, even on a completely flat-chested person, like, I feel like they're not. Because for mine are close to the ground, to be honest with you, you know? So
Mine are pretty close. They are a hand span from my armpit. They are exactly this far.
okay. That's
A
still a
handstand.
long way to slip the razor.
Yeah,
like, are
it's
you
like if you're
you don't need to
moving
shave
back
your
into
breast.
position.
I think it might have been like a reaching across and like just got
Yeah.
too
Yeah,
if
close.
you're going-
Yeah.
If you're going from out to in,
That's really horrifying. I'm holding
I would
my
never.
boobs now.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
all doing it.
It's like when when testicle owners talk about getting hit in the balls, and it's like, ooh, my balls hurt, even though I don't have those.
Yeah, they're like, ooh, that
It's like
hurts me.
I can feel it though.
It's like there's a lot more of that for vagina havers, though, because like there's somebody in the office I was covering at today, and the clinic director was gossiping with me, which God I love, and she was like, "Guess how many kids they have?" And I was like, "Oh my God, 5 kids." And she was like, "Keep going," and I was like, "What? 6 kids?" And she was like, "She's got 7 kids and she's pregnant," and I was like, oh, my vagina hurts. Like, my vagina hurts.
My vagina.
I'm like turtling right now. I'm doing the equivalent of turtling.
when you said, okay, Leila, here's what you said. You said something along the lines of, it's like for vagina owners, there's someone in the office. And for some reason, I thought that was a metaphor for your clit. There's somebody in the office.
There's someone in the office. She's not in the main floor.
You gotta look around. Where is she? She's on the top floor. You can figure it out. It's not that
It's
hard.
actually
Just go
not
straight
a
up.
house.
Unfortunately,
not hard at all.
but she is also hiding under the desk sometimes. So like you do have to just glance under the desk and
Yeah.
Just glance, though. It's not that
Yeah,
hard.
it's
There's
really
only
not.
one desk.
You have only to look. Should we get into the fucking chapter?
Man, I'm having a really good time not doing that, but there is a lot of this is a really uncharacteristically good chapter.
All right. Well,
You said the same
Okay.
thing last week.
Well, it's a two-parter. This could
last chapter was good too.
yeah, we're picking up in like the middle of like the heist music, you know,
Yeah.
the Mission Impossible shit.
Yeah.
That's why that's why I wanted to come on this chapter. I was like, this is the part of the break-in where everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, because literally Mike Boothby last week, we got to the end of the chapter and he was like, yeah, I thought I picked the good chapter, but I actually picked like the planning and build-up chapter. Two things before we get into this chapter. One, I'm drinking one of those mango chili Vista Bays.
Aren't they good?
Well, allow me. Here,
Oh my
I'll
God.
get some
Haley.
ASMR.
Haley, I loved it.
Oh, yep, good. Oh, and a kick.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've got the regular margarita and a strawberry left. Yeah, these
I
aren't bad.
also, earlier today,
Aldi.
I had one of the watermelon cucumber ones, which was extremely good. Did you leave those here, Haley? Was that you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was H Dizzle.
Me and Becca were working this afternoon and drinking White Claws. So
I'm gonna ask Jason to pick some up from that brand up, like that pack up tomorrow for me. Mm-hmm. I'm excited. We're doing this thing where okay, go ahead before I get into it again.
oh my God. Okay. The other thing I want to say is, Matt, where does this book fall on your Harry Potter ranking?
Yeah, so when I first read it, it would have fallen pretty high. That's because it was, the end of the series. She wrapped up quite a few things. But now I look at it, I'm like, oh no, you wrapped up the bare minimum. You left a lot open, and you're trying to use it to retcon a bunch of stuff. So
Ooh.
it's probably in middle of the pack, maybe third or fourth.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay, cool. Well, let's do it. Let's break into the Muggle-Born Registration Commission. That's not what I would have titled this chapter.
No.
The last chapter ends on a cliffhanger. Ron has had to go handle something as Reg Cattermole. So Harry Runcorn and Hermafalda are in the elevator, and Umbridge walked in, and that was the end of the last chapter, and the Minister of Magic. And so then Umbridge is like, oh, Mafalda, did Travers send you? And Hermione panics and is like, yes. And so then Umbridge is like, okay, cool. So we can go do these court proceedings. Runcorn, aren't you getting out? And Harry's like, oh, yeah.
I definitely work here at the business store.
Nothing to see.
Nothing to see.
This stressed me out so much because, like, for those of us who work from home, think back to when you didn't work from home. And then think about the first 45 minutes of your workday. And you, the person who has that job and goes there every day, think about how it can be very disorienting. And everyone's saying hi, and it's very busy, and people are coming and they're going, and no one's had their coffee yet. And it's just like, when we used to work together, Haley, we had like kind of an unspoken rule that we just like didn't do meetings before 10 a.m. because it's like disrespectful to my brain waking up. Mm-hmm. So think about that feeling, but then it's not actually you. You're pretending to do that for someone. It's like if I went into Matt's work and I was like, oh, I'm here for business work, which I'm saying because I don't even remember what you do.
I contract for Capital One.
Okay, great. That's why I didn't remember it.
I would be so
Solid
fucked.
job, though.
No, it does. It is a solid job.
But, like, if I was trying to, like, pose as you to break into the bank, like, that would go so poorly for me. I don't belong in a bank. I could literally turn into you physically, and everyone would be able to see at a glance, oh, that motherfucker doesn't belong in a bank.
Doesn't belong here at all.
So I was just stressed this whole time, this whole chapter.
Yeah, there is, like, a moment where, like, Hermione's kind of just vanished now off with Umbridge doing improv by herself.
God,
nightmare.
The bitch panics.
Yeah, because she's not good at improv. So then Harry is just stuck upstairs and he's like, oh, we didn't think this through. I thought we had such a good plan, and I am just now realizing inside the Ministry that all we planned was how to get inside the Ministry, and we had absolutely no plan for any steps after that point.
That was literally me 10 minutes into DMing that one shot for Andrew's birthday. I was like, oh, I didn't think about anything that could happen in this fucking house.
Yeah, we're all a bunch of belligerent crazies. I was thinking, of the four houses, who do you think would be better at improvisational situations?
I think it's the Slytherins.
You're right. I think you're actually right.
Defend yourself, Matt.
Because this is not just me being a Slytherin, being like, I can make shit up, because I'm not great at making shit up. I think they have the cunning and the people skills to be aware and intake, how are people reacting in situations, what's going on, and be able to push through just enough correct information to get by.
Okay. I agree that Slytherins would be good at, like, spy work type improv. I think the Hufflepuffs are here for team comedy sports improv, because if you're going to do improv, you have to be able to laugh at yourself, and the Hufflepuffs are going to do that.
Yeah, I was thinking Hufflepuff as well, because Hufflepuffs have yes and energy, which, like, no one else has.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I was thinking Ravenclaw because they're the quickest.
Well, I don't know if they want to engage.
So this is, and then that was my second thought. But am I thinking of like smartest and quickest, and like, I'm not thinking of it in D&D terms where it's two separate things, right? Where like, it's like intelligence is one thing, but wisdom is another, right? Mm-hmm. So I think they're like, so are we saying Ravenclaws generally are probably intelligent, but maybe not wise?
Okay, but then also in D&D terms, if you're going to be good at improv, you need a little bit of riz. And I don't think you can rely on Ravenclaw to have that riz.
Yeah, no, they're a bunch of nerds. So it would have to be Huff or, well, do Griffs have riz, or are they just like hot and like good at things?
Wrong kind of riz.
We're not looking for jock riz.
Yeah, like Harry's improvisations throughout all of this amount to like, punch a guy in the face!
Yeah.
But it always works out for him.
It worked out because
he's the main character.
Yeah, and he turned into huge guy who could punch someone in the face.
And, like, stop an entire crowded room with one word of his booming voice.
It's like, oh, fucking of course, Harry turns into a 6 foot tall buff dude with a cool beard.
He's hot. He's hot.
Oh,
I
he's
would
hot.
fuck Runcorn.
All
He's
of a
probably a
sudden he has
fascist,
fucking
but-
daddy energy.
You know, we should like maybe get into that.
Harry has no idea what to do with daddy energy. I think that Gryffindors, and like this chapter is emblematic of that. Like I think they have like a little bit of an inability to pivot and to like make do with what they're given.
Yeah.
Like I think that in like a regular improv situation, I think they would like come onto stage and be like, "Hello, Elizabeth," and then the other player would be like, "Ah, my dear brother," and then the Gryffindor would say, "No, I'm your boyfriend," or something
Yeah,
like that. And
it's
it's
a
like
no
that's not how you do improv at all.
Yeah, I agree. Like, have you ever? I don't know if anyone on this in the call has ever seen. There's an episode of Broad City where Alana dates this really, really hot dude. Like, he's got like a jacked body, the 6-pack, nice, handsome face, and good hair. But it turns out he's in an improv group, and he like invites Alana and her
big butt.
bestie to go see it, and he's horrible. Like, his troop's trying their best, but he keeps interrupting and saying
So his troop is good and he's bad.
he's holding them back.
That's really
But
embarrassing.
he's really hot, and so I think like people that are that hot just like kind of can do whatever they want. And so he was just saying stuff like, he's like, "No, and that's not what I wanted to say about my wife," and like horrible.
That hurt me.
It's
deep
like that the
inside.
whole time. At one point, he goes like, he's just like, "I just pooped my pants. I'm a little baby." And like later
Oh
that
my
night,
God.
when Alana's like having sex with him, she just like keeps, she like imagines that scene and just like, no.
No, I couldn't either.
Female turtling.
Female turtling.
Wait, Yannick turtling. Yannick turtling. That's what that
Yannick
word is for.
Yeah. I think that's like that is what we're talking about when we talks about Gryffindor improv.
Is turtling? I'm so sorry. Is turtling when your penis goes back inside of its foreskin because it doesn't want it anymore?
Yeah, like when you're cold, like the famous Seinfeld bit, I was in the pool, and it was cold. There was shrinkage.
I've been around cold dicks before. I know how it goes.
Have
They
we
do
started
really.
this chapter?
The penises hold on to the body for war. They're like, "Please, I'm so little and weak. Please hold me, body."
Penises are so fucking weird. Like, no offense. I mean, my condolences. I'm really sorry.
No,
Matt.
I'm sure vaginas are just as weird. They're not dangling. It's
That's
the
what I
dangling.
mean.
It's the
Why is it a
dangling.
Squidward? Like, what's
I mean, there are like genuine theories about this if you want to get into it.
The inverted
do we?
penis? No, we don't want to get into it.
Okay.
So Harry gets out of the elevator because he like has to, and the imperious minister of magic, Pious Thickness,
Yes.
also leaves with him. I'm sorry to hit the brakes again so quickly.
No, you're not.
I can't read this name.
I can't either.
It's a dead stop for me. Pious Thickness. What part of it? Imagine you're a kid on the playground and your name is Pious.
terrible?
I'm guessing he wasn't on the playground because pureblood wizards would never abase themselves, so he played like a Victorian child, just like pushing a hoop with a stick.
We've seen zero evidence of religion in this whole series, so like, why pious?
Except that they randomly celebrate Easter.
They
And
do
Christmas.
randomly celebrate Easter. Christmas, you could argue, is cultural, and there's like a
Is
whole
cultural.
like week or 2 week break for the semester.
Easter's
But
really religious.
They randomly go home
Easter's the weird
in
one.
random years. Yeah, just for spring break, like only when it's convenient to the plot. It's very odd.
And then, thickness spelled like a,
It's-
I don't know, a gay shampoo. Like,
Give your hair the thickness.
I'm like, okay, I'll buy it. Like,
Okay,
why?
did you know that our friend Josh just from Super Scary just started a like workout Instagram account, and it's called Thigh Society. Everyone go follow it.
I will.
His name could also be Pious_thickness. And it's like serving the same energy.
It would piss. It would piss JK off.
Wait, it sounds like a drag. It sounds like a drag queen name.
It's a drag queen,
straight
yeah.
up sounds.
Thickness.
I mean,
That would be a drag queen. She would serve absolute cunt.
Yeah, she would.
I'm gonna Google it. Hold on.
Ladies and
That's
gentlemen, please
biased.
welcome to the stage, Thickness.
Yeah, you know, that a drag queen that's using one of Sleepy Joe's, you know, one of her original names. I feel like that's
She would like combust.
Yeah, she would.
Wow, what a shame that we don't live in Britain and she can't sue us.
Maybe she still listens. Maybe she like Googles her name obsessively. Who knows? And she's found us.
She
She's
does seem
definitely
to
that kind of
be
person.
chronically online. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm trying to Google Pius Thickness, and there's a lot of Reddit discourse about his character, and it seems like no one.
What?
That's crazy. It can't
What?
just be
There
us.
cannot
We're not
possibly
that-
be discourse about his character.
We're not that smart. Like, come on.
Oh, okay. So listen, I did this without even opening any. When I type in Pius Thickness name, the preview in Google of harrypotter.fandom.com, which is my resource for all of this shit, it says in Italian, Pius Thickness was remained Pius Ottusoe, which it sounds like the word ottuso, which is an Italian word for dumb. And that's how much Pius Thickness sounds like a sex or thing or similar, is that it never even occurred to me until this very moment that like thick also means dumb. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, the British, they're old.
I mean, that
The
was
old
kind
UKs.
of that was kind of how I always sort of read it, as like, okay, well, he's pious and also too stupid to look past his own beliefs.
Okay, so
Pious?
it's another very obvious name.
But like, it
But at the
does
same
sound
time,
like a
it's-
drag queen's name.
Yeah, it
It
might be like
does.
linguistically transparent, but phonetically, it's an insane choice.
It's insane.
Well, like, I don't think I've ever met someone from the Anglosphere with a last name that ends in Ness.
yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I haven't either. And I gotta say, every time I read this name, I get down with the sickness stuck in my head, because it's like you're getting down with the thickness. Like
That would be Pius Thickness's fucking routine.
It's his
That would be-
entrance.
Oh my
It's his
God.
that
entrance
would be her
music.
lip. That would be the lip sync song.
I've never wanted to do like a drag or similar performance, but like I kind of now do.
Yes.
Like I want to bring this to life.
This would
But
be
I
some
kind of
burlesque shit
feel
of
it.
the
I feel like
highest
you
tier.
could totally be Pius Thickness.
Me?
Tina. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do Pius Thickness, I'll do tight ass androgynous.
Okay,
Which
well,
is
first
my
of all, I
drag
love
king
that,
name.
and I love your brain. I love your brain so much. And that would also be very funny, Haley, because I'm 3 times your size. So if I was doing like something girly, but maybe I would go full business. Maybe I'll go business and then to pleasure in my burlesque show.
You could rip it off. That everyone loves a costume change. I know I always
yeah.
clap.
Oh yeah.
That's like the tagline.
What
Yeah.
was Pius wearing? What was
It was like
the
ornate,
wizard-
very
Well, I just
ornate
remember-
robes,
ornate
right?
black and gold robes?
Yeah, like it's one of the costumes in the movie that they absolutely nailed exact description from the book.
I'm looking
Where
at
it's
it
just
right
it,
now.
like, it looks like a black and gold pinstripe kind of suit that's a robe.
Yeah, they did go off with the
yeah, it's cool.
pinstripes in those movies.
I appreciated that because there was so little color, you know, at the end.
Especially in the
Yeah.
last movies.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, yeah. Have you guys
Have you all seen
that thing?
that? The thing that just every frame, line by line, it just progressively gets darker, 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 and then you have the one part that's white where it's King's Cross at
Oh
the end,
yeah.
and then it goes back to black.
It's so funny that we not only said the same thing at the same time, but we started with almost the exact same words too. Oops. This thing is like, you could name your kid Pius from like momjunction.com.
You could name your kid Pius if you want your kid to get bullied mercilessly.
Because they're going to be on a playground. They're going to be on a playground.
Boy, thanks, ChatGPT.
Okay, so Harry escapes the Minister of Magic. He puts on his invisibility cloak and starts searching for Umbridge's office. He's feeling awkward about the way he's being perceived as this other person. He's like, oh, I'm a bad guy. And personally, much like I would totally like to have a dick for a couple hours or something, like, give me something completely foreign.
Yeah.
If you put me in a body and it's like, I can be kind of a dick all day long and it will not affect me and my legacy in the slightest. I'm taking that opportunity.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy, but just a little dickish. You know what I mean?
I completely agree because, I mean, it just takes me back to Halloween, you know, when I just can dress, I can be whoever I want to be. I can take it as far as I want to take it. And
Were you on Halloween?
I don't know, but I'm just saying in general. I'm just saying in general.
Like when you were Luscious Malfoy. It wasn't Halloween, it was some other party.
Like when I was Luscious Malfoy and my husband Jason was Dobby the Sub, and
it wasn't a sex thing.
It wasn't. It was like the first time I ever met Christina or any of these people. It was a power move.
No, it wasn't, because the first time I met you, me and Alexis were sitting on the couch for like 8 hours.
Yeah,
and then you went home, and Alexis and I were like, she gets us.
But this was the first partay.
I see.
And
that's a bold move.
It was. We even went
dominance.
to a sex shop to buy the collar, and I gotta tell you, Jason at that time never more uncomfortable in his whole life. He was very scared.
Wait, was that both of your first time in a sex shop?
No, I had been in a sex shop before by myself, but it was definitely Jason's first time in a sex shop.
Amazing.
So
we all have, we all remember our first
My mom
time
took
in a
me.
sex shop. That's very funny.
Yep.
I don't know what to say about that.
I just said we all remember our first time in a sex shop, but it was probably a Spencer's. Does that count? They have the vibrator section.
Spencer's is pretty trashy. They've got a sexy place, but there's like classier sex shops too.
I know, but my first sex shop I don't remember, so that's why I'm calling it Spencer's.
What are the ones in Virginia called again?
I have no idea.
It's like the ABC store. It's like 3 letters.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I only know about
like
Adam and Eve, Priscilla's,
it's like
Priscilla's.
No, in Nova there were like multiple. They were all like MBE or something weird like that.
I'll fucking do it. Sex shops.
If you grew up in the Richmond area, here's the commercial for Priscilla's. It goes, "At Priscilla's, where fun and fantasy meet."
Haley, I googled it and nobody knows. I didn't try that hard
on
though.
the radio.
It was on the radio. Okay,
anyway, my mom took
are
me
we
with
doing?
her friend and her friend's teenage daughter, and we all bought vibrators.
Wow,
Yeah.
I
Your
wonder
mom
what
is so good at parenting, but maybe like too good sometimes. Yeah.
I wonder what could I be like if sex was just so positive in my life.
I know. Or like even neutral, maybe.
Wait, Leela.
Like it's a sex neutrality.
Wait, Leela, do you literally want the book that I was given as a child to explain where babies came from?
No. What is it called? Where do I come from?
Yeah.
And then its companion book, What's Happening to Me?
I'll just stick with The Care and Keeping of Girls by American Girl.
Well, oh my god, I had
Pleasant
that
Company.
too. I had that too. That could go on the cringe cast. American Girl Doll books, not so much, but American Girl Doll puberty book, that's... Oh, I said cringe cast, didn't I?
Yeah, but that's not our podcast
That's
name.
crazy. That was our podcast name like a year ago before it launched.
Remember
That's
that
crazy.
like picture of the girl with the big titties? I was kind of like,
What? No.
well.
Okay,
What? I want to see the big titties.
Anyway.
The Care and Keeping of Girls?
Yeah, The Care and Keeping of Girls or something like that, maybe.
That sounds right to me.
Because there was a hairstyle one called The Care and Keeping of Hair.
Oh. Okay. So... Harry's really doubting his plan. He's like, I don't know what to do now. He's just wandering.
Yeah, have you ever just been
He
lost
has
in
no
an
plan.
office building
Yes.
and wandering the halls at
Yes.
random, unsure where you are or where you're going? Am I the only one who's had this experience?
No,
My
Haley,
entire first week.
I've been playing a lot of Fallout recently, and there's a lot of abandoned buildings that have just like zombies hiding in random corners, and so I'm just like sneaking around this like building, getting lost, and some of them are office buildings.
Yeah,
Like the newspaper.
when you play a Bethesda game, even one you've played before, you will wander.
Yeah, see, when I was 8 and my mom was doing volunteer work and I would just like wander the abandoned top floor, I was always worried that there were zombies, but there were never actually zombies.
That's good, Haley.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm happy for you.
This part of the book, I actually have to pull it up. This paragraph is... Let me see if it's as crazy as I remember it when I read it the first time. Okay. Because it felt insane to read this. Okay, just give me a second.
It's like 248 or 49, maybe.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well,
Okay.
geez.
So Okay. Halfway along the next corridor, he emerged into a wide open space where a dozen witches and wizards sat in rows at small desks, not unlike school desks, though much more high. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Harry paused to watch them, for the effect was quite mesmerizing. They were all waving and twiddling their wands in unison, and squares of colored paper were flying in every direction like little pink kites. After a few seconds, Harry realized that there was a rhythm to the proceedings and that the papers all formed the same pattern. And after a few more seconds, he realized what he was watching was the creation of pamphlets, that the paper squares were pages, which, when assembled, folded, and magicked into place, fell into neat stacks beside each witch or wizard. I don't know what, like, tell me if I'm crazy, but that feels like just the longest, so many words to say that. He's like, did you know that the papers were pages?
It's very verbose.
He's watching it for like 10 sentences before he's like, pamphlets.
Yeah, there's a way to shorten that down and basically say, after a moment, Harry realized that they were pamphlets.
Right.
And you don't have to waffle on for a minute.
Yeah, and like I will say that in the movie, like the way that this translates over is another thing that was done really well. Like it's very regimented and creepy, and I think that's what she was going for, but it's also very like he took a step across the room, and then another step, and then another step, and then another step, and then finally made it to his destination, which was the drinks table. Like,
yes.
I think that's part of the problem with her writing in the last few books was because at that point she knew that they were going to get adapted into films.
Yes.
And so she picked these different pieces that she was like, I know exactly how I want this to look in the movie, so I'm going to write it so clearly that it has to be done this way.
That's so frustrating.
And it becomes terrible to read.
Yeah. I'm thinking about 50 Shades of Grey and about how the author E.L. James was like on the set being like, no, she needs to wear low-cut skinny jeans and flats. And it's like, hey man, that was like out of style when you wrote it, which was like 5 years ago.
I remember you telling me this recently, and like it was when I was already very drunk.
Recently.
And I was just like in the volleyball court out back of Babes, screaming about how like so many movies that like the author would have loved to be involved and in control of all of the details and like every aspect, and the fans would have loved that too. Like somehow, some way, it ends up not happening, except for 50 Shades of fucking Grey. Are you kidding?
Yeah, why did E.L. James get that much control? And then you saw what happened with the Percy Jackson movies. Like, why? What god would let this happen?
What does she know about contract law that the others don't?
I don't know, but even my bubby read that book. Like, famously, I remember going to the Cheesecake Factory. We each got a very good chopped salad, like we always did, and then we went to Saks and Shoes, and then we went to Barnes and Noble because she was having issues with her Kindle, and she was like,
"That's very cute. This is all so cute."
And she was like, "Hi," and then she told me about it, of course, like the whole time at lunch. So, guess what I'm reading before it crashed? And I was like, what? What are you reading, Bubby? And she was like, 50 Shades. And I was like,
oh, she called it 50 Shades.
She goes,
she abbreviated.
She goes, 50 Shades. And I said, oh, okay. Are you liking it? And she was like, yes, it's very good. Okay, don't tell your grandfather. And
it is.
Guess what? We got there and she gave the little spokesperson at Barnes and Noble the same spiel.
Employee?
Yeah. Whatever.
Spokesperson.
I don't know why I said that. Okay.
Maybe like salesperson?
Salesperson. Yeah, she gave them the same spiel.
That's
she
very
was like,
funny.
She was like, it's not working, and they were fixing it, and she was like, guess what I'm reading right now?
Dude, sometimes you've got a bit. Sometimes you've got a bit, and you just gotta ring it for all it's worth.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Every human on my
bit.
Every human on my dad's side has
I'm
a bit.
I'm like, you need to laugh at this again when Haley gets here, and I say it again.
Yeah, and she's like 70 years old, so they're like, and she's like 50 Shades, and she's like 70 years old, and so they're like, oh my, ma'am. And she's like, yeah. And my granddaughter's reading it too. I was like, I told you that in confidence.
So Harry finally finds Umbridge's office, and Mad Eye Moody's eye is in the door. That's sobering. I know you guys are still giggling, but now it's sobering.
Yeah, no, it is genuinely super fucking... I do remember, like, feeling like the rock drop into my stomach when we got to that part, when I read this with my mom for the first time.
Leela, when I said, that's sobering, you were throwing back, like, half of your cocktail.
How do you know it wasn't a mocktail?
I know you.
It was.
And I know Jason.
Choices. Yeah,
and I know the drinks he makes.
They're good and cute.
And not mocktails.
No,
very decidedly not.
Yeah. So Harry's like, a rock drop in his stomach. He's like, oh, that I recognize that eye. That's fucked up. That's crazy.
Yeah. Also, can we talk about the fact that, like, the little pamphlets that he's watching them assemble in excruciating detail are, like, exactly the kind of shit that, like, TERFs make about, like, the dangers of hormone therapy.
Oh my god.
Like beneath the title was a picture of a red rose with a simpering face in the middle of its petals being strangled by a green weed with fangs and a scowl.
Yeah, that imagery struck me when I was reading it as very extremely, like, campy and over the top. It's like, wow, there is a place for weeds in the garden.
Like, it's the kind of thing that an evangelical graphic designer might make, you might say.
Yeah.
Even me, like, I've tried to kind of, like, change my tune about what is a weed even, you know what I mean? Like, there are plants that you don't welcome in your garden, okay? But, like, when it comes to, like,
ivy that's gonna kill all my vegetables.
Sure. But, like, a grassy lawn, clover, is like, you know what I mean? Like, that still makes flowers, like, that helps the bees. Like, we have a neglect patch in our backyard that Jason planted a bunch of, like, wildflowers and clover, and it just, like, grows a bunch of flowers and crazy shit, and, like, he doesn't mow that patch, and, like, it's fine, and it's like a big patch, and a lot of our yard is, like, in the front too is, like, kind of like that, and it really pisses off our boomer neighbors who are like,
we hate that guy, so
they're like, why don't you just, like, grow grass? And we're like, but why? Like,
grass is
it's
terrible.
so hard. It's not even, like, meant to be
Why
here.
does
like,
everything have to be homogenous and boring? Why can't people just live their lives the way they like and maybe not come from all wizard families and maybe not be the same gender their whole life? You don't know.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that imagery is really, it's really over the top. And listen, I fucking love camp, but I'm like, and this is like, of course this is where Sleepy Joe like chooses to use it. You know what I mean?
It's like Reefer Madness, but it's like deadly serious.
Yeah.
Happy Pride Month, everyone!
Happy Pride Month.
So then anyway, Harry throws the entire room into chaos so he can get in the door.
Does. I love this. He sets off a decoy detonator and it starts smoking and he sneaks inside of the office. And the first thing he does is steal the eye back. Do you think it's squelched?
Yes.
Ooh, no, I don't
think
because if it's still spinning around and doing the things that the eye did when Moody used it, it has to at least be lubricated in some way that it still moves. Mm-hmm. And so if it's stuck in the door enough to not pop out of the door while it spins around, it has to be wet.
Ew.
Damn. I
hate that.
I'm getting another drink. Now that we've talked about wet eyes.
So he steals the eye back, and then he starts searching around the office. And this just kind of shows how desperate he is, because he's looking, like, in the bottoms of vases and stuff. And it's like, hey, man, did you look around her neck when you saw her?
No, because they panicked when they saw her.
Because they didn't plan this.
They did not plan to run into her.
Avoid eye contact.
I just read this book called Lucky Red, and in it they're like going to kill someone, And they're like, okay, let's go kill this person. And then they're like, wait, okay, so what are we going to do when we find her? Okay, we're going to kill her. Okay, all right. But when we find her, what should we do? Get the guns out and shoot her. Like, they keep... It's like, that's the plan. But it's like, okay, but what do we do when we get into the elevator with the person we're looking for? I don't know. Don't look. Run away.
Panic and fear.
Just look at her filing cabinet for the necklace.
Oh, my God.
It's just the fact that Hermione and they were planning this for at least a week, let's say, at least a week.
It was a couple weeks.
It was
I think
4
a couple
weeks.
weeks.
4. It was a
Yes.
All that time, even Hermione never thought, oh,
Yeah.
she might be wearing the necklace we're trying to steal.
while. Like, if you got a new necklace,
You'd
you
wear
wear
it.
it.
I think
Yeah.
Hermione should have. I mean, but I guess she was. But I mean, Hermione should have been in charge of this part of the search because, like,
She
I mean, a
panics.
girl knows. Like, why would you keep a piece of jewelry in the filing cabinet?
Yeah.
If you read the actual, like, novel Silence of the Lambs, this is, like, a big part of why Clarice Starling gets put on the case and also, like, solves the case, is because, like, she knows where to find, like, the hidden compartment in a girl's music box. Like, oh, I had one like this, I know where the fucking compartment... duh, there's a compartment. And none of these idiot guys in the FBI would know, because they never had a music box.
Because I'm
Yeah.
a woman.
A woman.
Clarice.
Going back to the file cabinet, this is another... I guess I'm just kind of over Harry in this chapter, even though he's hotter than he's ever been.
Honestly.
Because
And ever will be.
he's like... It's like he opened the file cabinet, and inside there were folders with papers in them, and I'm like, man, you do not have to walk me through what's in a file cabinet like this.
Like, I know.
It's
I
like
know
if there's
what's going to be
something
in
we,
there.
if there's normal things in the stuff, you don't have to tell us that the normal things are in the stuff.
Yes, again,
Precisely.
thinking about Fallout, because I've been playing so much Fallout 4 lately, and it's like the file cabinets do be having, like, whiskey and money in them sometimes.
Yeah, but, you
And
know,
that's
life,
when you point it out.
Yeah, not
life
in the Ministry
ain't
of
Fallout
Magic.
4.
I know,
Life
exactly.
is
And
not
neither is
Fallout
the
4.
Wizarding World.
And nor the Wizarding World.
So he finds Arthur Weasley's record. I picture, like, you know that joke, it comes up in sitcoms sometimes when it's like, whoa, look at your folder. I think they do it with Louise in Bob's Burgers, where it's like, this is
Yeah.
your permanent record. It's gigantic. But it's like Arthur Weasley. He's being tracked.
It's just a full accounting of his shenanigans over the years. I bet it's a great read.
I know.
It's a bound book.
How much of it do you think is also about Fred and George and their shenanigans?
Yeah, they get
At
into a
least
lot of nanigans.
75%.
I'm sure he took the fall for them many times.
What about Percy? Do you think she has a file on Percy?
Sure. But Percy's file is slim.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's like 1 page. Like a sensible resume.
He finds a poster of himself, and this is the first time we hear the phrase that is in a lot of the marketing for the last 2 movies, undesirable number 1. It's Harry. And that's so weird because they so desire to catch him.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like, come on, don't act like you don't want me.
Yes.
Like, you want to fuck me so bad it makes you look stupid. Like,
Yes.
It's silly.
that is very much the energy, though. It's like, don't, like, and honestly, conservatives, like, in real life do this a lot, and, like, yeah, like, just cultural conservatives especially, are just, like, assigning the most metal accusations to, like, the queer community of, like, you want to destroy norms and have it so that everybody just lives however they want. It's like, yeah.
I think it's called, like, I think there's a Facebook group called Conservative Memes that are actually shitposts or something like that. I'm trying to
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah. I was
like-
like,
it's
That's the vibe.
Let me see.
it is the vibe.
But that's the difference here is between what the GOP does in real life is that Voldemort and the Ministry have been smart enough to not actually talk about why they want to catch him. They've just said he is undesirable,
Yes, they
wanted
don't.
for the questioning about the Death Albus.
They don't
Dumbledore.
monologue about it.
I Googled conservative memes that are actually liberal shitposts, and Facebook did not show me what I'm looking for, but the third hit on Google is the Twilight shitposting group that I am in.
Great. Good sign.
Join that for Twilight shitposting. So he then turns around and is like, Dumbledore? And then he's like, no, it's a picture of Dumbledore. And then he's like, no, it's a book.
He's so stupid.
Like everything
Dumbledore,
is taking
is that
him so
you?
long. It's like this whole chapter is like he's never seen a piece of paper before in his life.
Also, we don't need to be told the 7 steps it takes him to recognize what every single object is.
Is the book propped up? Like
Yes.
it's on display at Barnes
Yes.
and Noble?
Yes.
It's like
Prized possession.
Dolores Umbridge's. When I went to Barnes and Noble most recently, there was, you know how they do like random groupings on their tables, and they just there was one that just said "good for her," and it was like a bunch of books about women like snapping or like, you know. Like I'm trying to think of good examples, but I'm the only one I'm coming to mind.
Things that have the good for her energy
good
with
for
the
her
cupcake.
energy. Yes, it's the teacup.
No, it's
That's
a cupcake. It's literally a
What?
cupcake.
What?
And no,
From
it's one of
Arrested
the
Development.
Yes, I'm telling you, it's a cupcake.
I believe you.
I've seen posts of people being like, "What do you mean it's not a teacup?" And yeah,
it is
it's
totally a cupcake. You're right.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I think that my brain just saw what it wanted to see.
maybe it's a teacup in the Berenstain universe.
She's holding that cupcake exactly like you would hold a teacup.
She really is. It's beautiful.
That's very funny.
It's great
Okay,
energy.
well then that's not a fucking teacup, I guess. Where even am I in the Ministry of Magic?
We've ruined Tina's life.
So Pious Thickness comes in without knocking and without looking. Like, I don't know, man. It's my office and the door's closed. Maybe I'm naked in here. Like, you don't know.
Yes,
I think he
sashay
knows.
and turn.
He knows because he came to the elevator
Oh,
with
yeah,
Umbridge,
that's
so he knows
true.
Umbridge went down
I still
and
think
probably had permission from her to go in.
it's also. I still think it's weird to walk into a room without looking at what is inside of the room. He's looking behind
He's
him
doing-
and walking in.
He's doing a sashay and turn, is what he's doing.
Happy Pride Month, everyone!
Practicing for the next performance.
Happy fucking Pride.
Happy Pride Sashay and pray. Am I right?
Sasha
Ow!
and pray.
Okay, so Pious. So Harry throws the cloak over him. Almost doesn't get it on in time. Pious is like, is someone there? But then he doesn't say that. He just looks and then does nothing about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
Well, he's
plot
thick.
armor. Yeah, he is thick. Oh,
Plot
he's
armor.
thick.
He's thick.
So Harry dips out the open door to go to the elevator. His goal now is to find Ron and Hermione and leave safely to regroup. That's like the only goal now.
A smart goal.
Smart goal, yeah.
This should have possibly been the original goal.
Like, yeah, do your entrance plan and your escape plan at least.
Yeah.
At least.
Or a dry run, something.
Something. Oh, Haley, are you suggesting that they come into the Ministry of Magic and don't cause a ruckus for one day just to, like, see how it goes?
Yeah.
Interesting. Or at least somebody could with the invisibility cloak.
Yeah, but that would not be all about the drama. Also, they did need those coins to get in, which that would have been its own plan to get a coin.
Oh, the coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And at that point, if you're able to get the coins without having to knock
Right.
out people, then you just take the coins and sneak in.
Yeah, you don't want anyone to notice that the coin is gone, I guess. Yeah. Still, though.
Still,
something.
though.
Also, we don't know enough about how the coins are distributed or whatever, because that would have been too much information that actually could have impacted the
it's
story.
all a very fuck it plan, isn't it?
Yes. Yep.
Which is
Sure
quite
is.
in character.
Yeah, it is.
It's like the line that they added in the last movie. Hermione, when have any of our plans actually ever worked?
I mean, fuck it ain't just a city in Thailand, you know what I mean?
Oh dear. Sorry,
Exactly right, yeah.
I just undid this half this sleeve. Guys, the hardest part of crochet is getting two things to look the same. It's so fucking hard.
That sucks because it's the hardest part of eyeliner too. Honestly.
Yes.
Oh my god.
It's the hardest part of drawing eyes, also.
Yeah. Because humans aren't even naturally we're not
Yeah, but like
symmetrical.
if you're like drawing a person though, like you want it to be be symmetrical at first glance, and like even that is almost fucking impossible.
Like you don't want it to look like the people in Rick and Morty whose eyes are like this on purpose.
Yeah, because no one feels like dealing with it. That's why.
Draw it bad. That's like when I was in like high school and I used to draw. I would always draw. Everyone would always have their arms primly behind to them, so that I didn't have to draw the hands.
Yeah,
the hands
a lot of people did like the emo swoosh, so they didn't have to draw both eyes.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, that was my trick.
So Harry is in the elevator as sexy Runcorn. Ron gets in the elevator as kindly Reg Cattermole, probably sexy too.
Is he like sopping wet?
They describe him as Weaselly or whatever.
What? For real?
Yeah.
I did not clock that.
Am
That's
I wrong?
infuriating. I don't know.
Like
That's infuriating.
that's kind of on the nose for a Ron cosplay, but okay.
In the movie, he like just looks like an old version.
Yes.
of a Weasley.
Ron is like, hey, hello. And Harry's like, it's me. Don't you remember? I'm the sexy one.
It's like in Shrek 2, and he's like, and look, I'm sexy.
No,
I'm trotting in place.
Donkey has so much more riz than Harry Potter. Are you joking me?
Should I watch Shrek 2 after this? I feel like
That movie is genuinely fantastic.
So good.
it's my fave.
Is that your
good.
plug today?
And I like the fairy godmother character so much. She's
doesn't,
camp.
man?
That's camp.
Yeah, she
Talk
is.
about camp, talk about drag.
Right?
Anyway. Yeah.
So Harry and Ron are incognito in the elevator, and Arthur Weasley comes in.
With a woman named Wakanda.
Yes,
I know. Let's talk about this. Can we talk about this for a second?
An elderly woman named Wakanda with blonde hair that has been teased into an anthill shape. Not a beehive, an anthill.
What?
Wakanda forever.
Legally distinct.
Wakanda forever and ever.
Okay, when was the first Black Panther comic released? I know it was in 1966, would you believe?
I'm always ready for the war again.
I forget, was this book written before or after 1966?
Harry Pot hair?
Yeah, I forget.
That would be 1912 or some shit.
Do you think, tell me for real, do you think J.K. Rowling honestly, independently invented the word Wakanda?
I mean, no, because
No.
Marvel Comics.
Would she read Marvel though?
No, I think that
But
she
it would have observed it.
No, I think that she invented it in a way that she thought she was the first person to ever come up with that word. Because I feel that if she knew that it represented like a strong, independent Black nation, that she would
never
have
have
used
used it.
another word. Yeah. She's just an idiot. She's an idiot.
I feel like she was going to say Wanda and then was like, I think it's actually too on the nose. I know, I'll throw another consonant in there.
Wand.
Exactly.
What do you think, Matt?
Oh, she absolutely. She like bullshitted her way in her fucked up mind to coming up with it on her own. Mm-hmm. Because if she knew that it existed and represented a strong group of minorities, she would never have used it.
I agree with that.
I agree.
No.
She does use names, like all of her names are real names, even the stupid ones. And so I looked up this name Wakanda, and it says that according to babynames.com, which is not an expert on Sioux Native American tribal history, but according to babynames.com, it is of Sioux origin, and it means, would you believe, inner magical powers. So this bitch went to babyname.com and was like, names that mean magic.
I gotta say, babynames.com was absolutely a thing back when this book was written, because
Yes.
I have had real obsession with names, like with proper names for a long time.
The reason I went there first is because I've spent a lot of time there, especially when I was younger, naming characters. I used to
Totally.
put a lot of value in naming characters ridiculous things instead of just like regular spellable, pronounceable things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
We understand.
Yeah, I think that's literally what happened there.
Okay, great.
Oof.
It is pretty funny that it's just like, and then Wakanda said, and you're like, what the fuck?
Wakanda who now? And it turns out that Mr. Weasley and Sexy Runcorn do not like each other.
Yeah.
Wow, who would have thought?
Yeah. Mr. Weasley tells Ron how to stop the office from raining. And so Ron leaves again. And I wish they had caught each other, but Percy gets on next. And I really wish that we'd had a moment in the elevator. Ron, Percy, Arthur, and Harry.
Me too.
That would
Because
be
Ron
crazy.
would have fucking said something.
Yeah, Ron would have absolutely blown it.
Also, like,
if Percy was there.
Imagine it in the movie, though, like, wouldn't that have been a hilarious bit of, like, levity of just all four of them with, like, awkward elevator music playing, and they're all just, like, clearing their throats and staring into space?
Yes.
While Ron is just, like, shaking, holding himself back from attacking his brother.
It is nice when Ron, you know, stops just short of being like, yes, Dad. I'm sorry. I mean, Arthur.
I know that dude wasn't part of his personality or his lexicon, but this was like 1996 or whenever this book takes place. And there's no way he couldn't have gotten to dude, because I was like listening to this audiobook in the car and I was like screaming. I was like,
Me too.
Dude, just pivot to dude. Why make it such a crazy thing? Whatever.
It's Britain, man. I don't think they say that.
They don't do it
The
over
dude
there.
is not a thing they
They don't
do.
do it
No,
at
they
all.
don't
They've
do it
never
over
Dude is
there.
like,
done it
I
before.
think Dude is like just now catching on.
Oh my god, they are so slow.
So slow. Well, they invented the language, so it should be used properly.
They
You're not
didn't.
gonna whine.
They did not invent the language. I'm not giving that to the British.
Damn.
A lot of people had a lot to do with that, and I'm not
You're
giving it just to
right.
the
There was
British.
so many factors.
That's why English is such a mess.
That's why it's a mess. So it's Arthur, Percy, and Harry in the elevator. And Percy gets out immediately at the first. He fucks up his day, I think. He gets out at any stop to not have to be. I mean, bro.
We've all done that. We've all just got off the metro and then take the next train. Have we
But
not?
how embarrassing to be so emotionally immature that you are working in the same place as your dad, who you now know to be like right about stuff, and you can't even. You would rather just do this super embarrassing thing rather than just like figure out how to talk to him. It's embarrassing.
Ain't it just?
Yeah, that sucks.
Agreed.
So yeah, they're all stuck in the elevator together, and now it's just Harry and Arthur.
So funny, and Arthur hates his guts. So Harry tries to leave, and Arthur stops him.
And Harry's like, "Yes, Dad."
Yes, Daddy. That would have been a really good way to get Arthur to back off immediately.
Imagine if like a big, hot, sexy man is like, yes, Daddy.
I would explore that.
Me too.
I would explore that.
That's what makes us
Be like,
bi.
are you calling me Daddy, or do you want me to call you Daddy? Or either or, maybe
I
take
can make
turns?
it work either way, babe.
We can discuss options.
Focus, Arthur. Focus. Dirk Cresswell.
Yeah.
I'm mad at you about Dirk Cresswell, you sexy, sexy bastard.
He is. He's mad about Dirk Cresswell.
Come on, that's not a name. That's not a real guy.
It's more real than pious thickness.
Sickness.
Dirk is a name.
Yeah,
Dirk-
that's a real nerve. That's a real, like, it's a type of knife.
Haven't you seen Boogie Nights?
No.
What? Leela, you would fucking love that movie. We're watching it immediately.
Well, I was really upset by not Friday Night Lights. The one with John Travolta about disco. Saturday Night Fever. It's like the one that made him famous. It's
This
so
one's
rapey.
about porn.
yeah,
no, this one's about porn.
It's not about disco
Okay.
at all.
Is there rape?
No,
I don't think
because
so,
it's,
no.
it's porn. There's no rape. Mark Wahlberg plays a very well hung porn star named Dirk Diggler.
Ah.
And it's funny that you haven't seen that because in the movie they do it in like neon lights, so it kind of like imprints itself on my brain.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the kind of thing that's fun to
It's
watch at
such
the
a good
bird
movie.
when it comes to the bird.
Yeah, we did that, and at the end,
Yeah.
well, I won't give it away, but they were chanting for it.
Yeah, they were. And it was worth it. God, I love payoff.
I really do. And, okay. So Arthur is like, you are fucked up Dirk Kressler's tree. I almost said Dirk Dracula again. Family tree. So then Harry Runcorn, he's like, Arthur, do you know you're being watched? Would you guys do this? Question. Matt, would you do this?
Oh, I would probably have tried to, but this was not the way to go about it, especially when you're just coming out of this other argument about Dirk Diggler.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that, like, Harry knowing how he acts, it's common for him to not really listen to what's being said and then just say what's on his mind. That's like
Harry
his
is
thing
very
he does.
incapable of reading a room.
He's also
and
like,
having like a two-way conversation.
and he's also like in a situation of just like, I'm just going to do whatever I think I should do exactly right now because I'm going with fuck it. Fuck it is now my game plan for absolutely everything. So he's like, I'm not going to get a chance to tell you this at any point later, but I have just learned that you are for sure being watched constantly. So I'ma just say it.
So
right now.
Here's how I feel. I think it is very thickness of Harry to think that Arthur doesn't already know this.
But he never thinks that anyone knows things.
So, like, me in this situation, I would never say this because I would be like, there's no way he doesn't know this already. I would never say such an out-of-character thing. And then the other thing is, I think I would also have the split second of foresight to be like, there's no world in which he takes this exchange seriously. Like, there's no world in which he takes it well. He takes it as a threat. Like, so it's like, is it worth it?
He's like, oh, did you want to go outside?
Arthur Weasley,
G.
yes, he will throw hands. I love him.
He will throw hands, absolutely.
I love that man, honestly.
I always thought that Ron got it from Molly, but I always forget about the fist fight in book 2.
All of the Weasleys are exactly the same in their like level of loyalty equals willingness to throw hands.
Yeah, for sure. It's also like not to do this, but like a lot of people say that's like a common trait in redheads too.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit basic and like stereotypical the way she
fiery
other characters. Yeah, they're all fiery.
Can confirm that my partner, a redhead, would throw hands.
Well, and Ginny always has that blazing look in her eyes. Harry's like, this is how I know you want to kiss.
He's
But
like,
you're not
kiss?
crying.
He's like, kiss? Yeah, as long as you're not crying.
As long as you're not crying.
He's like, because I will
That's the one thing I really like about her. She doesn't cry.
Yeah.
It's actually the only thing I know about her.
If you cry, I will full turtle dick. Like, absolutely.
I do kind of appreciate, though, that, like, this is the moment where Harry is, like, pretty sure that the guy he's pretending to be is, like, an asshole, but a powerful asshole, and he's, like, starting to lean into the scene. He's like, okay, all right, I'm getting in the groove. I'm doing yes and yes and for me means be a douche. And he's, like, starting to do it now.
Yes.
So he's one of the, it's like you ever do like when I do shows, you have the one person who just takes like the entire rehearsal process and finally is like getting into character like opening night.
Yeah.
That's what this is like with Harry.
That's
like,
what he's doing.
He's finally getting into character at the last possible
At the
moment.
fucking 11th hour, he's like, you know what? I bet I'm enough of an asshole that I could just like walk into this courtroom like I'm there to enjoy it.
He definitely
I bet they would just let me in, and then they do, and he's like, shit!
It's very fun.
I'm in.
Okay, he goes down to the Department of Mysteries. He's trying to figure out how to extract Mafalda. It's getting colder and colder as he goes down because there are Dementors guarding all the people awaiting trial. So here's something about me. I don't really cry a lot. I'm not a big crier. I know, brag. I'm not, I cry a couple times a year. Nothing crazy. I know a lot of people are different, but something I do, I think kind of frequently is, like once or twice a week maybe, is I'm listening to like an audiobook or a podcast, or I'm reading a book, and I just get like touched with like a very like raw, pure human feeling. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of like go like, oh my God. And then I get over it. But this moment of thinking about all of these innocent people being like held and threatened with Dementors, a fate worse than death, was like very distressing.
That's horrible.
Yeah, this chapter is like genuinely dark.
It really is. It really is.
Oh, you say this is the chapter where she stopped dancing around. It's like, oh yeah, the Death Eaters are kind of, it's kind of an allegory for fascism, but we're still dancing around it. And this chapter is where she just rips it all off. It's like, here's fascism for you.
Yeah, and the name of the chapter really sums that up, the Muggle-Born Registration Commission. Like, that's the most fashy thing you've ever heard.
This is institutional.
It's Nazi Germany.
Well, I mean,
all of that.
Like within one of the first sentences, or like the first descriptions of where they are, like, or is that last chapter when it's like the horrible?
It's all the same
statue with.
Oh yeah, that's the last chapter. But that's fine. You can still talk about it. Still talk about it, girl.
Yeah, I hated it.
I hated it.
The statue of like, I think it was 2 or 4. Wizards, like
it's like a witch and a wizard, and they're like in thrones that are made. Yeah, they're sitting in thrones made out of Muggle human bodies.
They're like horrific and like melded
very
together.
Fuck up, yeah.
You can see all like the horrible faces.
Yeah, it's all Cronenberg
and they've got
shit.
them all like caricatured too. Like it's like a racist drawing. Like it's really bad. It's
and
really
like the phrase "magic is might" too. Like that's just like that's the Death Eaters, like the Holocaust allegory. Like that's the Aryan supremacy part of it.
Yeah. Okay. So then Harry can't do a Patronus, or he'll blow his cover, and so in front of him they bring in to the courtroom Mary Cattermole, Ron's dude, Reg Cattermole, his wife, and Harry, invisible, slides into the courtroom behind her. And he goes up to Hermione, Umbridge, and them are all doing the trial behind the safety of Umbridge's Patronus. And Harry goes up behind Hermione and is like, I'm still here. Okay. So then I just wanted to skip ahead to like this other thing. When they accuse Mary of having stolen her wand and of having stolen magic, that is very scary and fascist.
Because it's like, not only have you institutionalized this, but like you've come up with this, like, obviously bullshit cover story.
Yeah.
That just aligns with pre-existing laws just enough. That you can use it for your own agenda. And, like, that really is how it works. Like, that's how these kinds of systems take control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's like they curated their argument that, you have to have stolen it. Because, they've curated this argument because you can't argue against it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they're going to twist anything you say because
you're
come
just
from
a
your
villain.
family.
Yeah, you're just a villain.
And it's horrible. Like, it's so sad. She's like, I got it when I was 11 years old. Like, all of the rest of you.
Think about how enchanting that chapter of Sorcerer's Stone was,
Yeah.
Like, she had that feeling. Yes.
She had that day. Just like the rest of everybody. And then, like, you can't just change the rules like that. Like, it's really crazy how deep they had, like, the Death Eaters had everybody under their thumbs. It's like, that's not even what happened. Like, this.
Yeah, getting everybody to play along.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of, like, eugenics, where it's like A plus B equals C. And it's like, yeah, but I'm not with you on A and B, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very upsetting.
And it's like this poor fucking woman that, like, we already know from all of these interactions leading up to this moment that, like, oh, she's been sitting down here wondering where her husband is, because
Yes.
he said he would be down here to support her, and she thinks that he, like, either abandoned her or has been, like,
God.
taken captive
Taken.
himself.
Yeah.
Which he kind of has, but it's not as bad as she's thinking. But still.
Well, especially
Your spouse
because-
did not
That's like the
abandon
worst
you.
part.
Well, yeah, it's like, we know that they have kids at home too,
my
so
God.
I'm sure like the fact that he's not there with her in the courtroom is probably then making her mind race. Like, well, did something happen to the kids? What's going on there? It's
Yeah.
just like it lets you spiral in this terrible way.
Like, imagine this happening to, like, your mom and dad.
Yeah.
We're just, like, good people.
can't.
Like, this is literally just someone's mom. And, like,
I'm gonna
Right?
cry.
And that's why I just kind of, like, burst into a couple sobs while I was listening to the audiobook in the car on the way to the allergist. And then I was like, that's so upsetting. Anyway, tell me about how S is for Selwyn.
yeah, because Umbridge is, like, horny about this. Umbridge is
she
horny
is.
about tormenting someone's mom.
Yeah, she is. And we hates it.
We hates it.
Well, we know that she loves torturing people because that's what she does to Harry throughout the entire Order of
Oh
the
my God.
Phoenix.
And
Yeah,
don't
that's
even get me
true.
started on how many times the back of his hand tingles in this chapter.
Well, and I mean, like, I gotta say, like, the whole her Umbridge's Patronus, like her little cat, like first of all, Umbridge gives really bad rep to
Cats.
a really bad rap to all
Because
cats
her
everywhere.
office always sounds so cute and nice to me.
I know, but they use like the worst words to like describe it, and I'm like, I kind of
Yeah.
like want this tablecloth.
know.
Is that bad?
This is definitely, Umbridge is definitely where I learned the word saccharine from.
Saccharine, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But that her little kitty is just
Her Lisa
patrolling.
Frank plates.
Yeah.
That sounds so awesome. But yeah, her little kitty is just patrolling and just keeping that side of the jury warm, and it's
Jury is
horrible.
probably a generous term.
I don't even know what to say about
Audience.
A cat would never just bravely protect its humans that way.
it. They're hiding immediately.
Like a cat is a nonsense Patronus.
It's a terrible Patronus.
Suspension of disbelief is just absolutely shattered.
Thrown out the window.
So, finally they're like, I wonder if she's wearing the locket. And she is. And so
I don't know if they even have time to wonder it. She just leans forward because
Yeah,
she's horny
and it's
about
like-
making this woman cry.
She's
and
so
it just
happy about
falls out of her collar, and Harry and
Yeah.
Hermione at the same moment are like, what?
What? Hermione is
Can't
like,
believe she's wearing this necklace she just bought.
I know.
in the literal first
What a
place
tacky
you'd look.
bitch.
So Hermione's like, ooh, a nice necklace, Dolores. And
Are we on first name terms? Do I call you Dolores? I'm being very natural right now.
And Umbridge says, oh, thank you. The S is for Selwyn. Which, I don't know why she even... I don't know, man. Why even buy it if you don't even... Is she lying about Selwyn? I don't know, man.
Yes, I think she is. She's all about pushing herself as this
Selwyn.
pinnacle of, I'm the purest of pure
She
bloods and
probably-
blah, 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 blah.
She
So
probably
she's
has
just
some
making
like
shit up.
she probably has some like by marriage connection to the Selwyns 3 generations back, and she's like, that counts. This pendant has an S on it. That sure, why not?
Did she want the locket because it would back up this blood purity story she has?
Probably.
Because
I
why
think
else
so,
would
yeah.
you take a locket that's not your initial? You know what I mean?
That sounds right.
Especially because we know, like, from when Mundungus got caught and spilled the beans to the trio, like, the timing of it is that she was buying this locket. She took the locket from Mundungus, like, after Voldemort and the Death Eaters had already taken over the Ministry.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was in those first couple days of the takeover, and so I'm
She
sure that was
needed
her way of, like, ooh, this is how I protect myself, just in case.
Interesting. Okay. So, okay. Harry, like on a whim, it appears, just stupefies Umbridge in front of the entire courtroom.
Fuck it. That's
He
the
just got
plan.
pissed off.
Fuck it.
He just got pissed off and was like,
Yeah,
I'm done.
fuck it.
Yeah, again,
I'm going
like,
off vibes. The vibes said fuck it.
The vibes are off the chart.
again, like going off video game logic, sometimes it does work better to just run the fuck in there and start beating the shit out of your enemies before anyone has time to like react or like get into position, you know?
Or it's it's like a game where it's like, I don't want to. I'm tired of how long it takes and how slow it is to sneak around. I'm
Yes.
done. I'm attacking.
And that's
Yeah,
why
like-
I always play barbarians in TNT.
God, fuck the cutscene. What if I just, like, attack immediately so no one has a chance to talk to me?
Yes. So he stupefies Umbridge in front of the whole courtroom, and then he's stupefying everyone. He's just like, literally the way I play video games, just like, brah, 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 brah.
That's why I was bad at The Last of Us, because there's limited ammo. I was
Yeah.
like, nope, I'm just all about nonstop spraying bullets or whatever.
But when he stupefies Umbridge, the cat Patronus goes away, and so the Dementors are coming for Mary Cattermole now. So then Harry does a dramatic drag queen. Oh wait, he's not the drag queen. We're all drag queens.
He can
It's
have a
Pride
moment.
It's Pride Month. We're all drag
dramatic
queens here.
reveal, and, like, drops his invisibility cloak. And
Wait, is he doing it like Obi-Wan Kenobi?
yes,
Like,
yes, he is.
Grandmama, it's me, Anastasia.
But he's still Runcorn.
So he sends his Patronus for Mary, and she's a little confused because the real Runcorn, I guess, is the reason she's in here.
Yeah, this is Harry, like, solving all of his mommy issues in one go.
I save you this time. I have the wand now. So Hermione duplicates the locket and then steals the original. And I guess all the bad people are knocked out. I don't know.
Yeah, it was just the two people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what there's no jury. It's literally it
There's
is
no
an immediate
jury.
execution.
There's no like bailiffs. Like there's no.
Yeah. No, the
Dementors
pretense
are bailiffs.
is basically gone.
Okay. Well, so Harry tells all the Muggle-Borns to leave and go into hiding, and they're all leaving. They're all running to leave. It's a shit show.
He's, like, trying so hard to channel, like, Kingsley and or Uncle Vernon on a road trip, like...
Who?
Like, he's trying to give, like, Uncle Vernon on a road trip energy. Remember when they all went into hiding? And Uncle Vernon went kind of insane?
Yes.
And everybody just went along with it? I think that's what he's trying to channel here.
That's what he's going for.
Like, he's going for Kingsley, but he's ending up doing Uncle Vernon.
Yeah, he's trying to give calm authority, and instead he's just giving unhinged lunacy.
Barking
Keep
orders.
going.
Yeah,
He's just
keep
yelling.
going.
Yeah, he's just yelling.
But, like, honestly, if it works, then it works. You know, this is, like, very high risk, high
He's
stakes.
And that's why he
into
keeps doing
character.
it.
Yes.
That's why he keeps doing it, because it works with the Muggle-Borns. It gets them to get up and start leaving. So he's just like, all right, this is what works. We're going to keep doing this.
Yes, and! Yes, and!
Yes.
Ooh.
And
Ooh, this is the White Claw Surge green apple that Mary Clay left at my house. Thank you, Mary Clay. 8%. Wow.
Thank you, Herman.
from-
She doesn't listen.
No, she definitely doesn't listen. But it's spiritually, she does.
8%, you said.
Yeah, I'm about
That's
it.
a fun one.
I was like, just one more drink. And then it was the 8%er, so that's what we're doing. Okay, so first they run into Ron, who Mary believes is her husband.
Yeah.
And it's a little funny because she doesn't kiss him in the book. And she's like, oh, what do we do? And
Well, she's mad at him because he abandoned her downstairs all day.
yeah, I'd be mad too, probably.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing where even though you know that there was probably a really good explanation, my emotions are so high and you weren't there for me that we both know that you just need to take this for a second, even though it wasn't your fault.
I'll get over it in a minute, but I am mad.
I'm extremely upset right now.
I need to be upset, and then we'll talk about it.
Yes. So people are closing, they're in the atrium, people are closing the fireplaces, they're blocking all the exits. And Harry uses his Runcorn voice to try to stop them. Stop! And he rolls, it's like roll for intimidation.
Literally, yeah.
He rolls like 18 or something, because they do stop for a minute, right?
Yeah, for a hot minute. Like, he runs into the same guy who followed
Yaxley?
him out of... Yeah, that dude.
Yeah.
Or no, like, another guy. It's another dude who, like, followed him
Someone
out of
else.
the fireplace. Like, just some balding wizard is the only description we get. And then Yaxley's catching up, and Harry's, like, already improving his way past Baldy. And then Yaxley comes out, and Harry's like, he's a traitor, and punches Baldy in the face.
Okay, it's literally so funny. Well, because, yeah, the real Reg Cattermole comes in.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
this is such chaos. And then enter Yaxley, and then Harry punches some guy. It's so fucking funny. It's so fucking funny.
And the chaos is also the only reason that they get away at all.
Yeah.
As poorly as their escape goes, the chaos is the only reason they get away.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
rackety sacks.
So
Don't talk backs.
Ron takes Mary and goes to a fireplace, and then Reggie is like, wait, that's my
Who's that
wife.
with my wife?
That's my wife!
My wife!
It's like, well, both of my husbands are being really nice to me right now. If I am disoriented, they're both being like gentle and nice. So I think that we're like we gotta
Ron-
prioritize.
Ron
We
read
gotta-
that book. He's
Oh
basically
my
nailing
God.
this.
He's doing it.
But they're literally like triaging magical shenanigans right now.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Harry and Hermione follow out the fireplace. They regroup with Ron in the bathroom. Enter Yaxley again. And then Hermione disapparates all of them. And in that moment, Harry can tell something is wrong.
Dun, dun, dun!
It's probably nothing.
We're
The
done.
one time he rolls a good perception check.
Oh, you did it, bud.
That's for Harry a nat 20 is that he understands something is wrong but doesn't know what.
Yes, literally. Oh my god.
That's how low his perception score is.
Intelligence and wisdom both very low in this man.
Oof.
Oof indeed. So that is the end of the chapter.
My god.
My god. Matt, do you have any last words about the chapter?
Nope.
Wow, okay.
Oh,
Wow. Leela, any last words?
I really like that part where Harry and Ron are in the elevator with Arthur. It's like
yeah.
it's a fun time.
It is fun. I enjoy it too.
I like seeing Arthur's fierceness at work. You know, it's something we've never really seen like that before. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I like that part a lot too. I like for the Percy appearance for no fucking reason.
Just to break
Like,
your
just
heart
to
again.
remember that he's still there.
Yeah.
I liked those employees who were making the pamphlets who were just like, where's our bitch manager at? Can she hear us?
The other one's like, shut the fuck up.
So relatable. That whole exchange
Yeah.
is just like so
So
mundane
real.
workplace.
So
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
I love my manager, but I've had a lot of managers that I didn't love.
Totally.
Well, and then when Harry comes back out of Umbridge's office and they're still standing around the decoy detonator saying, is it a duck? Did it escape? Where did
yeah.
it come from?
They said the poisonous duck escaped from like magical experiments or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a venomous duck, my dude. That is not a poisonous duck.
You don't know. Maybe they were eating the duck.
Because they may have eaten the duck.
I don't like that. Haley, any last words about the chapter?
I'm upset that you said about the chapter because I was going to say, what is that, a threat? But no last words about the chapter. I think I got it all out.
I really like Harry being like, I'm scary and sexy, and like not knowing what to do with that at all.
It's a pretty fun dynamic.
It's pretty fun. It reminds me of when in the new Jumanji movies, which I enjoy, when The Rock is playing like a little teenager
Like
boy.
a high schooler who's a nerd.
A nerd, yeah. It's
It's that energy.
he's like, oh my god, I have muscles. I love it. Okay, great. Well, let's move on to plugs. Matt, would you like the people to find you on the internet?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Shaman Nomo.
Hell yeah.
That's about it.
Hell yeah. And what are you plugging this week that you've been watching, reading, listening, playing to lately? Wait, I said that stupid.
Playing
but you know
to?
what I mean.
I'm going to plug, my partner and I have been watching Lucifer on Netflix. She's seen it before and has been pestering me to watch it. So now that we're done with the show, we're finally watching.
Hell yeah. What is that? I mean,
So yeah, Lucifer.
I don't want to say
like,
what is it about because it's in the
it's
name.
pretty obvious. It's
What's the premise? That's how you
the
say it.
premise is that Lucifer abandons hell, comes to Earth, and runs a nightclub in LA, and then teams
that's
up
pretty
with
fun.
teams up with a detective. So it's kind of like urban fantasy crosses with crime thriller.
And the actor who plays Lucifer is like so hot, right?
Super hot.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay, well,
That's
I'll
all I
Google
know
it.
about that
That's part
show
of
is
why
that
we-
the guy who plays Lucifer is super hot.
That's part
I'm
of why
looking
we
it up.
watch it, because we both
Okay.
love looking at Tom Ellis.
He's
Sold.
pretty hot. Not exactly my style, but I must admit, yes.
My partner and I both have the same taste in men, which is tall, dark, and handsome, which is hilarious because I am none of those.
I mean, I wouldn't kick him out of bed for eating crackers, but
That's the most
great.
grandma thing you've ever said.
you know who said it? You know who said it?
Who said it?
Gene
here.
Belcher in Bob's Burgers.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Yeah.
That tracks.
I'm looking at a lot of pictures. The more pictures I look at, the hotter he gets. Ooh, the sway that he's leaning against this wall is pretty hot in this one. This
God.
When I say that's the only thing I know about that show, that is the only thing I know about that show, but I do enjoy knowing it.
Oh, yeah, and when he does this face, that's kind of hot, too. Okay, I'm sold.
Okay.
Haley, what are you plugging this week?
I'm going to plug Where Did I Come From by Peter Mayle.
Haley.
If you want to, if there's a child in your life that you are hoping will grow up to be normal about sex and sexuality, this is a great starting point. My parents gave me this book when I was 3 years old and asked
She's
where
not
babies
okay,
came
guys.
from.
She's not okay.
I'm not fucked up in that regard. I have a pretty normal attitude towards sex, I think.
Yeah, you're better than me, so do that one.
Everyone's a little weird about it because everybody is taught to be a little weird about it. If you just explain everything up front with illustrations of deeply, deeply unappealing, very like your parents people, like so cute, like
Haley.
so realistically cute. They really do. There's absolutely nothing titillating about
sexless,
it.
yeah.
It is truly the most sexless possible explanation of sex and childbirth that you will ever encounter, but it is informative and it is thorough.
Early in our
right.
friendship, Haley and I realized that we had both been taught about sex with the same picture book. And then you bought it for Freya, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
So that's on her shelf, or probably on the high shelf for when she's ready.
Also, fun fact, the book was written in like the 70s. There's actually two versions. So like in one version, it's like mostly black characters, and in one version, it's mostly white characters.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Leela, what are you plugging this week?
I'd like to plug this movie called Mulholland Drive. Perfect for Pride Month. I actually watched it recently with Jason. It's directed by, can you believe it, David Lynch.
What?
Yes, famed
Jason
director
loves
of
him.
Twin Peaks and many other things, and including the first original Dune.
I was going to
And
say it if you didn't.
we watched this movie. He said, I really think you're going to like it. And I said, oh, okay, baby, I love you. So mostly we watched what I want to watch, and we watched what he want to watch. This movie is great. It's got, it's really, really gay. It is super, super sapphic. It's just about a really crazy lesbian relationship that just like goes off the rails. It's heartbreaking.
We've all had
It's-
that girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking. It's cinematic. It's engaging. It's interesting. Please watch it.
Thank you for the rec.
Yeah.
I've been your host, Christina. You know where to find me. And this week I want to plug my other podcast, Burn Before Reading, which I host with Leela.
Hello.
We have a lot of really fun Pride stuff going on over there, and we just launched our Patreon, and we just launched our merch store. So there's a lot of ways to love us. A lot of ways to love us. I also want to plug the book Lucky Red by Claudia Cravens, which is a sapphic Western, and I enjoyed it a lot. And Alex recommended it to me, and she has extremely good taste in books. She actually bought it for me for Christmas. And I loved it, and I stamped it with my little library stamp for my personal library, and I put it up on my shelf. So it's just, some writers are just so good. This book had like next to no plot, and the whole time I was just like, I don't need a plot. Just talk to me more about the planes and about her tits. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Hell yeah. Matt, thank you
Leela
so much.
said dreamily.
I'm sold.
Matt, thank you so much for joining us. We always love having you on the show. Oh no,
Yeah, dude.
it's the last one. I keep doing this. It's the last time.
I'm so glad to have been part of your journey of dumping this book series.
And Haley, Leela, thank you for being here for different reasons with different tones to that.
Special guest Haley.
Special
Yeah.
guest, Haley.
You're welcome for my scheduling fuck up.
You're welcome for my presence. I don't know.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
All
Wow.
right, we're headed out camping. We're headed out into the woods. Are you ready? Let's go camping.
No.
We're not ready. We
No,
don't know
we're
anything
not
about
ready.
camping.
You chose the wrong crew. No.
I do not know how to pitch a tent.
I know how to pitch a fit.
That's it, potheads. Thanks for listening to The Restricted Section. Hosted and produced by me, Christina Kahn. Theme music produced by Ryan Kahn. Logo designed by Michael Hardison. Please don't find us on social media. I am not doing anything there. However, you are welcome to join our Patreon. For $1 a month, you can gain access to our Discord server, which is a lot of fun. And for $5 a month, you get access to our monthly bonus episodes. There's also a $10 and a $20 tier as well. So please go check that out. We are honored to be part of Deus Ex Media Podcast Network, which features lots of wonderful podcasts for nerds, including this one. I'm Christina Kahn,
And I'm Lelia Hilton,
and this is Burn Before Reading.
the podcast about shiterature.
We're here to examine the terrible writing we did when we were younger.
Like that school project you were really proud of.
Or that poem you wrote when you got dumped.
Well, how about that apology letter you wrote to your mom when you got into that fight?
Or the song you recorded before you knew how to write music.
Okay, don't at me. And we're here to talk about other cringy literary topics along the way.
Like the Library of Alexandria.
And Dewey Decimal.
His name was Melville Dewey.
Oh, well, do we want to get the clips rolling?
I don't think I ever recovered from this in terms of being cool.
Why did I say any of this?
I do like the drama.
So there is actually quite a bit to unpack here.
Oh, all this drama was so addictive as a teenager.
There's no punctuation to it. I'll start with that.
I actually have no memory of this.
There were so many lies that I was telling it.
It's not terrible.
No one really taught me how to write a good short story.
That was a journey.
Listen to Burn Before Reading.
Every Wednesday, wherever pods are cast.
We're not doing both songs.
I'll do the song. I'll do the Sorting Hat song.
Do it.
Do it.
I might put it at the end.
Oh, you may not think I'm pretty, but don't judge on what you see. I'll eat myself if you can find a smarter hat than me. You can keep your bowlers black, your top hat sleek and tall. For I'm the Hogwarts sorting hat, and I cup them all. There's nothing hidden in your head the sorting hat can't see. So try me on and I will tell you where you ought to be.
You're not going to do the whole thing, are you?
No, no, you have to. I'm going to put it at the end. It's going to be so funny.
Fine.
You might belong in Gryffindor, where dwell the brave at heart. Their daring nerve and chivalry set Gryffindors apart. You might belong in Hufflepuff, where they are just and loyal. Those patient Hufflepuffs are true and unafraid of toil. Or yet in wise old Ravenclaw, if you've a ready mind. Though where those of wit and learning will always find their kind. Or perhaps in Slytherin you'll make your real friends. Those cunning folks use any means to achieve their ends. So put me on, don't be afraid, and don't get in a flap. You're in safe hands, though I have none, for I'm a thinking cap.
The whole hall burst into applause.
That was beautiful, Andrew.
That was incredible.
I don't know where that came from, but it was just in me.
Dave X Media.